LSU had their spring game. Is there a lot to gather from a spring game? Basically just who this team, as the staff sees as their starters, their secondary, their depth, all that type of stuff. And I think we did get a good look at it. This game was a tie, but it was still a game in which you saw what should be one of the best teams in the SEC this year, in my honest opinion. And you know what? Let's get more in detail right after this intro. Hey guys, Dawson Richard here once again for another LSU video. I wasn't gonna make an LSU baseball video, but I'll just cover whatever happened. Just know Dylan Cruz and did his thing, and the pitching was fantastic once again. They win 2 games, they win the series. All right, but anyway, let's get into the main thing. LSU football spring game ended in a tie, 32-32. Brian Kelly said he would have gone for 2. But anyway, yeah, let's get into this, right? I think the most important thing for this game, mind you, is the quarterbacks, right? How are these teams feeling about these quarterbacks? More importantly, how are they feeling with Jane Daniels, right? From most accounts from everyone, Jane Daniels, he's bulked up, and, I think it was a bit noticeable, and also the passing was very noticeable, right? He was 10-4. Sorry, I should just have my notes up here for you guys here. He was 10 for 11, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. And yes, this is what you want to see. He did have some good running, but from all accounts, right, this is a guy who is probably going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the SEC. Evan Nussmeier, right? It's weird with Nussmeier, right? For all accounts, this guy was supposed to transfer, but he didn't. And that shows how much he thinks he can improve and compete with Jane Daniels. And I think the spring game did show some stuff off. Yes, Garrett Nussmeier, right? This is a guy who passed for 5 or 8, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. That's an important thing with Nussmeier, right? He had a turnover problem, and first, what we can see as fans, he didn't have turnovers. So once again, he has proven why he didn't transfer. He's proven why Walker Howard thought he had to transfer to Ole Miss because he couldn't beat out this version of Nussmeier, and that should be a very dangerous thing for the SEC, that LSU thinks that they have 2 competent quarterbacks that can probably take them to an SEC West Division championship. And let's talk about other sides. Wide receivers, right? The big name for this game was Kyron Lacy, right? Number of drops, his first season, but he led this game with 4 catches on 5 targets for 92 yards. Had himself a 70-yard one-handed grab for a touchdown. Insane stuff there from the guy there. Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., they had solid showings. Lacey, you got to be proud of that. And, let's talk about running backs here for a second. Sorry, I'm rushing this, but, I had computer problems and I want to get this video out. Veteran Noah Kane and newcomer Trey Holly were the 2 lone scholarship running backs available this spring. Money Goodring and Josh Williams were sidelined with injuries. That's something to look at, guys. Only 2 scholarship running backs are going, right? So, yes, and then you got Caleb Jackson arriving this summer, and don't forget about John Emery. And the thing with John Emery, I gotta say this, if you aren't paying attention to LSU news, he stepped away from the team due to academic issues. He has a path back from all accounts by Brian Kelly. It's going to be an interesting watch here, right? Should you hope for a good season from John Emery? Absolutely, right? You need all the good players. And, offensive line, right? They made it through spring with just enough scholarship players to fill out the first team unit. Charles Turner wasn't available this spring because of injury. Marlon Martinez worked as the first team center. Will Campbell and Henry Jones are, studs. They're going to be there. First round talents. And that's wild to say. Miles Frazier, Garen Dellinger. Let's see. Jack position for the LSU team here, right? They got the veteran Texas transfer of Ovi. I won't pronounce his last name because I'm going to butcher it. Oregon transfer Braden Swinson. High school signee Jackson Howard. They all flash in this game. 3 players that can get reps this fall is going to be great. And then you got 5-star signee Deshaun Womack. Very much an interesting situation there. And, the quarterback room, that's going to be an interesting thing, right? It's another room of transfers, right? The lone returning quarterback in Laterrence Welsh led the way in pass breakups during the spring game. Denver Harris, Cy Alexander, J.K. Johnson, and Deuce Chestnut are all transfers. They're battling, they're grinding, they're trying to get starting spots. It's going to be interesting as they are, trying to figure out their starters, their depth, all the types of options in this Matt House defense. And once again, Harold Perkins is the stud. Matt House worked Perkins out at middle linebacker during the spring, which was largely just to teach him to the position after using him as an edge rusher. And he looked like his normal self. While, linebackers, rotate. It's a very much a interesting situation. He was in on a sack, didn't look out of place. Year two should be the, Heisman candidate, maybe. Who knows if a defensive can't. And, you got, let's see what else is there. Omar Spates will be an important portal addition. 3 solo tackles in the spring game. Healthy all March and April. Able to get in all 15 practices. Kicker position, that's going to be an interesting thing. This team, routed where they're, main Polian, the guy Polian. Damian Ramos won the job in the first season, but now he's in a tight battle with Nathan Dilbert. And, they missed field goals attempts in the spring game. So, once again, we're probably going to see more 2-point attempts, in my opinion. But, it's going to be an interesting game and situation for the LSU Tigers as they battle on, go through spring, go through fall, all that type of stuff. And, we're going to be covering it, right? We're going to be covering it. Sorry about that, but the most important thing for the spring game for the LSU Tigers is that, in theory, sure, there are injuries on this team, but no one got injured in this game. Both offenses showed off. Both your quarterbacks look great. Offenses, wide receivers look great. Harold Perkins looks great. This is probably LSU's, it's weird to say this, but you're in year 2 under Brian Kelly, you may actually make a playoff push, right? Just look at the SEC West. That's all I'm going to say there. Going to be an interesting year for LSU if a lot of, things continue to trend their way. But that's going to do it for me. This has been Dawson Richard. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, comment. That channel grows, all that type of stuff. 49ers and LSU content all the way, all through the year whenever, I have, mental problems that sometimes, delay stuff, all that type of stuff. But anyway, content will be coming out all the time. So if you enjoyed this content, like, subscribe, comment. This has been Dawson Richard, and I will see you guys next time.